How do you do it all यार? कैसे कर लेते हो कि
You know, on some days it's all very seamless and all this.
This is crazy.
I really believe 99% of finance books are written.
Congratulations, this book is again another bestseller.
Yeah.
One thing if you say, ये जान लिया तो book का काफी कुछ समझ गया.
It's dedicated to all those who prefer dal chawal over avocado toast. It is about having good habits, like good nutritious.
I love this Will Rogers quote, and we spend money.
Use this thing in Limitless also are a combination of two things: chances that you get and choices that you take.
Welcome to another episode of Mohit's Mantra, the podcast for people who want to thrive and not just survive. Today I've got someone who's inspired millions and broken barriers. She is a CEO of a mutual fund. She was an entrepreneur. She's written a couple of books which are bestsellers. She's a TEDx speaker. She was on Shark Tank and a shark on that. And she's a working mother. Radhika Gupta, the MD and CEO of Edelweiss Mutual Fund. How do you do it all यार? कैसे कर लेते हो कि I was reading your book and I was like, my goodness, you've done everything.
On some days, and today happens to be one of those days, I wonder ये सब कैसे होता है. You know, on some days it's all very seamless and all the systems and things that you set up work. And then some days you wake up in the morning and your kid has a meltdown and you have guests at house and you have a staff issue and then there's like a big day at work and you have to travel and you just breathe and it all happens. But, so some days even I wonder how it happens. But I think on a serious note, I think the human mind and body is capable of a lot. And I think it all comes down to prioritizing, saying no to unnecessary things and building a lot of process, delegation, systems at home, etc. and being efficient with your time. वो फिर हो ही जाता है. I mostly sleep 7 hours plus. Mostly.
I can go on another tangent on that. Someone who's with an entrepreneurial mindset and has so much things on her plate. This is crazy. So, congratulations. This book is again another bestseller.
Yeah.
So-
It's done very well.
How did the title come by and what made it so resonate कि लोग यार, they are loving this book?
I think we wanted to communicate that it's for the average person who's aspirational. It's a fun book, yet it talks about money. And we really believe 99% of finance books are written for the 1% of people who actually understand or claim to understand finance, don't know कि bond क्या होता है और duration क्या होती है और ये सब चीज़ें क्या होती हैं. So I genuinely believe that. Now, I love movies, as you know, and this book is inspired by a line in a movie called Love Aajkal, where Saif Ali Khan talks about the idea of mango people, Aam Janta.
Correct.
And he says something like, आम जनता ना हीर रांझा बनना नहीं चाहती, लैला मजनू बनना नहीं चाहती. What do they want? कि लाइफ में जिससे प्यार करते हैं उससे शादी कर लें and you live a nice life. I think that's very true about money. Most people don't want to become a stock market guru, or they want to be mango millionaires in that sense. So, and mango is a lovely fruit, right?
I love
It's
that.
so Indian. It's pan-India. And it's sweet, it's sour, it's very much like money. So mango millionaire, aam karodpati.
For people who haven't read the book, any one thing if you say, ये जान लिया तो book का काफी कुछ समझ गया.
I think the nicest line of this book is the first page. It says it's dedicated to all those who prefer dal chawal over avocado toast, which is my favorite line in the book. Because money at heart is very simple. It is about having good habits, like good nutritious habits of eating dal chawal. It is about having basic things of asset allocation. Dal and chawal is equity and debt in that sense. And it's about doing simple things consistently. And I think I didn't answer the second part of your previous question, which is why is the book resonating? Most people are telling us the most common, in fact, in the next cover of the book, we have a comment which has come many times that the book doesn't feel like a finance manual. It feels like having a conversation over coffee or chai, mostly chai, with a friend. And that's what finance should feel like. It should feel accessible, it should feel simple, because it really is that, to pick a couple of mutual funds in an era where you have great advisors like yourself, you don't need to be a PhD in finance.
I love this Will Rogers quote, and we spend money on things we don't want
Yeah.
to impress people we don't like with money we don't have.
Yeah.
And 7 out of 10 iPhones are bought on EMIs.
Yeah.
So I just shared this yesterday and like 3 ही बंदे जो iPhone खरीदते हैं स्मार्ट है,
हाँ.
बाकी 7 क्या बोले. So okay, I read your book Limitless, so I know your journey. But for people who do not know,
Yeah.
how did you get to become the CEO? You've been in consulting. So what was your journey like? And any defining moments, which shaped you along the way?
Yes and no, right? I think most journeys, and I use this thing in Limitless also, are a combination of two things: chances that you get and choices that you take, right? And most journeys are about maximizing the opportunities
Correct.
in life, because what you get, the balls thrown at you are not in your hand. There's a bowler in life, right? But how you react to them is entirely in your hand. I think most of us, especially in that era, and I think kids of Gen Z are a lot more fortunate, but in that era, Mohit, we didn't know the direction our career would take. We were born into an era where our parents were in a very different career than us. Like my father was in public service.
Yes.
My mother was in education. So, किसी को private sector की कोई हवा ही नहीं होती थी, right? So there was no natural guidance. There was no conversation at home. I was talking to a guy who runs a D2C company today, and he was telling me, my son is very clear at the age of 13 that he wants to run and build a luxury jewelry brand. I said, at 13, you have that clarity, which is amazing. Now, at 13, we had no idea what we wanted to do because it was just in India where exposure was a lot less. So many of us and people like me flirted after our education with different careers. थोड़ा consulting try किया, अच्छा नहीं वो ज़्यादा high level हो गया. Okay, I did tech, but I don't want to be a coder. And you found your way into a career like asset management. Because I didn't know what it meant to be an asset manager when I grew up. And you learn to fall in love with the career just like it was an arranged marriage. So I had no intent of being an asset manager, or being in financial services. I ended up being one because, chances led me there. And I have learned to love the career and find joy in the career. Now, within that career, I think different opportunities have emerged because I was in the US and the defining moment was actually taking a risk to come to India at that time. And, I know in this era, there's so much conversation about living overseas and people coming back. And I had posted something, but I came to India at a time. It was not very popular to come to India, but it's really been the best decision of my life. Because we found so many opportunities to grow, to blossom, to contribute back. So that was amazing. I think selling the company to Edelweiss was very defining. Because again, in 2013, people were not as excited about this category as people are today. And then we acquired JP Morgan Mutual Fund and I got this chance, and that's a chance I got and a choice I made at that point. I don't think too many people wanted the role at the time that I took it up because it was just a very small business. But you make something of it.
You've gone to UC Penn on scholarship.
Yeah.
Ivy League on a scholarship. You were rejected, if I remember correctly, 6 times in an interview?
Yeah, 7.
7. And then McKinsey came along.
Yeah.
Wow, the journey has been pretty nice.
Yeah. And that's the stuff that you get to read in the public. There's a lot that's not on YouTube.
There's a lot of nothing YouTube. You are the youngest CEO of the Indian mutual fund industry. You've seen everything.
Yeah.
right from the, how do I say this? I think you saw the COVID, you saw Bharat Bond, you saw
Demon.
Demon,
Yeah.
GST, and then you saw the debt taxation go away, which was
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, yes. Actually, the biggest one is none of these. These are market events, yeah, because they happen to everybody. I don't think demon, COVID, all of these are challenges because every 45 mutual fund CEOs are going through this. And I think the toughest challenge, which is the unspoken one, is the difficulty of building a brand in a financial services business, which is so trust based, where most of your competitors are large financial institutions which are backed by banks or big conglomerates and nobody knows you. I think it's a journey many young AMCs who are entering the market today are going through. But 7-8 years ago, it was not a common thing. 7-8 years ago, there was not a proliferation of AMCs. Today, every week a new AMC is launching.
you are the upstart.
Yeah, so we are so the brand building is a much harder challenge than all this put together. How do you get people to trust you? Is I think the hardest thing, and it's still a task.
And plus, you had the credit crisis.
We had the credit crisis, we had COVID, so we had all of that. I was very new. I mean, it's very funny that you're saying youngest CEO, and I like object to that title, but I realize 7-8 years of building into this, I'm still one of the youngest. So can you imagine how young I was when I started? Then I was like a total outlier.
Absolutely.
Now I'm young but experienced. Now I've had 7-8 years of doing this. So 7-8 years of doing it, I think you understand yourself, you understand the industry, you're comfortable with it. You know what you want to do, what you don't want to do. You know the non-negotiables. So I think now you're young but a lot more experienced. And you are going to laugh at me. In 2017, when I became AMC CEO, I didn't know what an STP was. Which is really bad. What is an STP? You didn't know terminology only. So then you made your way through.
In fact, I was just about to ask you, CEOs की कोई फैक्ट्री या स्कूल नहीं होती कि यार ऐसे बताते हैं ऐसे CEO बनना चाहिए. And you have to handle guts, you have to be innovative, you have to drive teams, and it is no longer your individual contribution but the team's contribution. How do you learn to become a good CEO?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I was speaking at another event to a bunch of new managers in a company, and I said, management is a bit like motherhood, right? Nobody teaches it to you. Because we just, even in our own companies, I've realized, we give people reportees and say, chalo, inko manage karo, inko lead karo, but kaise? And the funny thing is, thousands of books have been written on leadership, and on motherhood. And I don't think any book teaches you that. I think it has to be felt, experienced, learned, mistaken. It's like, you hand a baby to a mother and you're like, go be a mother. Nobody taught me how to be a mother, and nobody taught anybody how to be a mother. So you feel your way through motherhood, you learn your way through motherhood, you instinctivize your way through motherhood. I think leadership in that sense is very simple, very similar. And I guess what I have learned is that CEO actually doesn't do anything, right? A chief executive officer doesn't do anything. I don't physically execute anything. I don't manage money. I don't have a target on how much I have to sell. I don't make ads. I don't file things with the regulator. मैं करती क्या हूँ, right? But I'm responsible for making sure execution is done, right? So CEO is actually chief energy officer of the company. And Rashesh told me this. I think it is energy that you communicate. It's energies that you manage. You just manage a bunch of energies and you make sure you're like a conductor with a stick that has very little power that tries to make an orchestra work at best.
And you make beautiful music.
Yeah, and sometimes you make cacophony also. And sometimes one guy who's a violinist whacks someone who's a pianist. That also happens. But for the large part, you can make music.
So your initial brush with mutual funds as in the management was handling a merger.
Yeah.
JP Morgan mutual fund merging into Edelweiss. And I think if I remember correctly, Edelweiss was a smaller AMC and JP Morgan was
A bigger MC, significantly bigger.
and I'm not saying this, but most Indian companies are organized like Lala companies.
Yeah.
And MNCs में भी नहीं, आप Indian MNCs like HDFC Tata
Yeah.
आप acquire किए हो
Yeah.
JP Morgan जो पूरा दुनिया का एकदम top, the expectation of the organization,
Yeah.
the culture is crazy different.
Yeah.
How did you assimilate all of that?
This is actually, firstly, I think most people should work on things like mergers because for me personally, it was a tremendous growing up exercise, right? Because till I had run this merger, I had managed 6 people in my life. And suddenly you're trying to do a merger where, and there's no right and wrong, there are only cultural differences, right? Everyone operates out of a context. Now, your context could be growing up in JP Morgan, your context could be growing up in Edelweiss. I think the core of mergers are not about companies, mergers are about people, right? And mergers are about, and people go through tremendous insecurities at this time. मेरा क्या होगा? साउथ हेड कौन बनेगा? मेरा जॉब रहेगा? ये नए लोग कैसे होंगे? And I think in the 6 months that I worked on that merger, all I did was spend time hanging out with people. So I had like 3 emotionally racked HR conversations a day for 6 months. Again and again and again.
3 emotionally racked conversations a day
Yeah.
for 6 months.
Yeah, for 6 months. And it was very good for me because, as I said, I grew up. I stopped thinking about my problems and I realized I have other people's problems to solve. But finally, it's about getting people to trust you. It's about building an environment where people can talk freely, addressing their insecurities upfront rather than letting them grow and fester. And you'll start to see people trusting you and magic and making decisions fairly. That is all. So most people in life want only a few things. They don't want to be micromanaged.
Yes.
They want to be given growth.
Yes.
They don't want to deal with corporate politics. And they want to make fair compensation in the long term. ये 4 चीज़ें होती हैं और उससे ज़्यादा किसी को कुछ चाहिए नहीं होता लाइफ में. Some people may want fancy offices and gold embossed coffee, but for the large part, most people want 4 things in life. If you can create this environment, it works.
You are not the founder.
Yeah,
You are the CEO. There is another founder, Rashesh.
yeah,
There is this belief that, the CEO doesn't last long, but the founders do.
yeah,
You have a beautiful relationship.
yeah.
How do you do that,
So one of the questions I asked Rashesh is, Edelweiss is one of the few companies where even Rashesh has never used the title founder. And
So what title does he use?
he's MD and CEO of VFSL, which is his legal title, right? Just like I'm MD and CEO of Edelweiss Mutual Fund Limited, which is my legal tout. And I asked him this about 3 months ago. I said, why don't you use this founder thing? Because they've always been Rashesh and Venkat have both never liked the title. And they've always said, never called us founders, right? Because founder, by being the first person who started the company, he said, you don't acquire some special status. Status of any kind has to constantly be earned. You have to work on it. Just because I put a plank in here doesn't mean I'm perennially great for life. And I thought that was very, very
Sublime.
It is. And, in this environment, we're so obsessed with the word founder and startup and entrepreneurship. And I felt like an entrepreneur at Forefront. I feel like an entrepreneur now. I behave like an entrepreneur now. I think what you should constantly be focused on, whether you're Rashesh or me, is one thing, which is adding value and building value.
Very
If
true.
you can build value in your enterprise, I mean, Aditya Puri is not a founder, right?
Yes.
But do you think he's built a remarkable career? Is he someone who's iconic? Of course he's iconic.
HDFC Bank became HDFC Bank
Deepak
because of...
Parekh hardly owns, I think, Menka Gandhi or someone asked, Menka Doshi, journalist. She asked Deepak Parekh, but you don't own very much stake in it. He's like, I don't. But do you think Deepak Parekh's less iconic? He's iconic. He's built tremendous value.
Crazy.
So I don't think value creation is a state of starting something is a state of shareholding. It's an attitude and it's a pursuit. And so Rashesh and I are both in the business of building value, him for EFSL, me for Edelweiss AMC, which hopefully builds value for EFSL. And it is that simple. And the other thing that I've learned, which Renuka Ramnath told me, is that most of us, when we have relationships with boards, because Rashesh is the chairman of our board, look at our board as someone where we have to show off. It's a constant appraisal conversation. Boards are people you talk through and you bounce issues through. I have very, very open conversations. In fact, when debt taxation happened, I went to these guys and I said, boss, this is a meaningful change that is happening. And remember, Mohit, we were the AMC that had Bharat Bond.
Exactly.
We had a phase where pre-debt taxation, we were raising 2,000 crores a month, every month without fail in debt. Okay?
That's 24,000 crores a year.
And it's just happening. Every quarter, when the league tables would come out on AMC growth, Edelweiss AMC would be the fastest growing every single quarter. कुछ भी कर लो, हमारा ही नाम आता था. We were magic, right? And that magic is intoxicating, boss. It's intoxicating for employees. It's intoxicating for boards. It's amazing, right?
Yeah. Success is intoxicating.
Yeah. And so I went to the board and I said, I don't think this is going to happen anymore because we'll grow equity and all of that will happen, but it's just not going to happen at 2,000 crores a month overnight. And we had a very honest conversation about how the metrics that we use to define success will change. And it became a lot more about depth. It became a lot more about retail reach. And I said, these league tables are not going to look the same anymore, but there will be different metrics and let's define those metrics and they'll change. And, the metrics became things like SIP book, the metrics became things like reach, number of customers, mutual fund revenue, all the metrics changed and we started delivering on those metrics. But we had that honest conversation. So I didn't worry when the next league table came out कि हम fastest growing नहीं और लोग क्या सोचेंगे. वो मेरे दिमाग में कभी था ही नहीं. हमने बात कर ली थी. So I think within a week of debt taxation, I had that conversation.
Do you think that was a blessing in disguise? The debt taxation, one of the toughest things. Success ले चला जाता है at one point of time. And then
yes and no, right? It was a blessing. And Deepak, who's our head of sales, when we spoke the night it happened and I was in the US for work, we both said, boss, this is going to be the best thing that's ever happened to us. Not because we were not interested in growing equity, but because of that 20,000 crores or 40,000 crores a month, whatever it was a year, people saw us a certain way, like, tum Bharat Bond AMCO. And I said, it's a chance for us to break the label. So both of us.
You were typecasted.
Yeah. So you just get typecast because you're Shah Rukh Khan and you have 5 romantic films that have done well and you become Raj and Rahul, even though you can deliver Pathan and Jawan and, win a national award in this case for Jawan. So I think it lets people see you differently. So in that sense, I think it was very good. It's not very good for the consumer and for the growth of the fixed income industry. So I secretly do hope, not secretly, pretty openly do hope that they reconsider fixed income taxation because it's an important asset class.
SIF. Do you think the absolute return funds, will it kill arbitrage fund industry or is it going to kill the FD industry?
I don't think it's going to kill either. I think the FD industry appeals to a very different consumer. And, I think the arbitrage industry is a combination of individuals and a lot of corporates who find that. What I do think is, though, it will provide more options in the fixed income space. I think it has already, to some extent, seen the Cat 3 AIF industry on the derivative side. That I think will happen because the post-tax case is much, much stronger. So I think that's the industry. I think the PMS industry also will have to take a relook because that product on a post-tax basis can be very tax inefficient because of the client level churn. So I think this is an alternatives light product. There will be different kind of SIFs. As I said, we are launching one which is more of a fixed income plus. Well, honestly, the response has been incredibly enthusiastic, much more than I expected. But I think SIFs will work if they can provide solutions that don't already exist in a way that's tax efficient for the consumer. So that's my hope.
So coming back to your journey, Edelweiss Mutual Fund has just raised private equity, right? What was it like, and what should a CXO be looking at or an entrepreneur be looking at if they're looking to raise money?
Building value and being able to demonstrate that value. Very simple. Building value, but also being able to demonstrate.
Demonstrate the value creation.
Show the value, tell the story. So it's a nice thing I heard from Rashesh. Is raising money and getting a partner on board is a combination of English and mathematics. Mathematics is the value you've built. It's the numbers that you've delivered. But mathematics without English doesn't sell. And English without mathematics is hollow. So it has to be English and maths together. Building value and being able to communicate the value, the vision, the passion. I think that is all it is. And I think capital, because after this transaction, a lot of people have come to me with, especially in this industry, kaise kare, kya kare. And I think it's about the right partner at the right time. So a lot of people are in a rush to raise funding or to get partners too quickly in their journey. I think you have to mature as a business if you don't need capital, we didn't need capital, ours as a secondary sale. You should get a partner at the right time, and you should get a partner for the right reasons, and you should get a partner where the interests align, because this is a marriage, right? And the marriage has to work.
Any practical one or two tip which...
I think build from day one as if you are going to be listed. A lot of people, a clean set of governance practices, a clean set of books, due diligence, that is commercial and financial diligence, should be clean as a toothpick coming out of a well-baked cake. That I think is if you start with that mindset on day one, that I'm going to build an independent, totally clean, audited, etc. company, it's very easy. If you start correcting it at the time you're raising capital, it's hell. It's hell. So I think build as if you are going to list on day one, and that's a mindset. And it'll translate into everything you're doing. Have the metrics. So well before we raised capital, we put out dashboards, we had MIS, we were measuring. Measure yourself on the parameters that others will measure you on well before you get measured. एग्जाम नहीं दे रहे हो, लेकिन घर पे तो एग्जाम करो.
एग्जाम की तरह पढ़ाई करो.
एग्जाम की तरह पढ़ाई करो और चेक पे करते रहो कि अगर मुझे आज पास्ट पेपर करना होता है, इन इंडिया वी लव दिस पास्ट पेपर थिंग, करते रहो रियल पेपर के लिए.
You are a mother and you manage, juggle everything. How do you deal with the guilt, and how do you deal with, I'm not enough spending time on in the afternoon or in the evening or in the mornings?
I don't have guilt. I literally, guilt is not, this mom guilt is something that occupies so many mothers' minds, and I think it's a horrible thing, and I don't have guilt. I think my mother taught me not to have guilt, because she said that no mother is a bad mother. Okay, society may call you a bad mother, but no mother intends to be a bad mother. For God's sake, you cut up your stomach to get a kid out.
Exactly.
So you're not a bad mother, right? You can't be a bad mother. I mean, motherhood is another life in that sense. A mother is also born. And I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm doing it to build income for the family, to be an example for my son, for my own happiness, so I can be a good mom when I'm with him. And it's not about the number of hours that I'm with my son. It's how meaningful those hours are, how happy those hours are. Of course, there should be an absolute number of hours, and I make that happen. But yeah, there are days like this week, I have been, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll probably go home by 6. But Thursday, Friday, I have to travel late. So you find the jugglery. I also ask for a lot of help. So I've been through a bunch of crises this week. So my mother has come to help. I went to do exec at Harvard. So my father came to help. My mother-in-law chips in, my father-in-law chips in, my husband chips in, everybody chips in and we make it work. You go through the struggles that Nani had where she couldn't, afford a rickshaw from the bus stop to save money and she had to walk. We are not saying that. हम गाड़ियाँ भी देंगे, ड्राइवर सब देंगे. तो उसके लिए thankful रहो. वापस और कुछ नहीं चाहते. We will indulge you, but be thankful for it, yeah.
You were on Shark Tank, raw ideas, energy,
Yeah.
Any quality which you looked at before investing and any pitch which stayed with you?
Oh, lots of pitches. But I think in terms of qualities, it's a twin combination of hunger and humility. You need to have hunger, yeah. You need to have hunger to build, to persist, to stand up. You just need to have hunger. But you also need to have humility to realize, कि boss, I need feedback. I can go wrong here. And I think if you can manage this balance between hunger and humility, then I'm interested. And obviously, the business has to stack up and you have to be. But like I said this on the pitch. Two Hands, which is the smart calculator company, Varun Dua and I were discussing, yaar wo banda na solid hai. He spent 6 years working in detail with kirana walas. He understands consumer problems. If he doesn't succeed at this, he'll pivot and succeed at something else. Banda hi madam hai. So he has hunger and he has humility. तो कुछ ना कुछ बना लेगा.
Wow. Middle class, what do the biggest mistake they do with money and what can they do to avoid it?
So firstly, I come from middle class roots as all of us do, and I have a lot of respect for the core of middle class. Okay, I think the value system of middle class India is amazing. Sasta Sundar Tikau, value for money, I think these were middle class values. Hard work, progress, these are middle class values. And I hope no matter how much wealth I have, the values remain very corely middle class. I think one thing that can happen, to the quote you mentioned earlier now, is in the era of social media, this desire to spend not because it gives me happiness, but because I want to compare to the next guy on Instagram, is थोड़ा सा unhealthy. पहले कम होता था, और मुझे लगता है सोशल मीडिया के कारण काफी होता है. And I also feel that there is a kind of cynicism that sets in and a blame game that sets in, So a certain amount of optimism and a certain amount of playing your own game, because middle class has always been burdened by comparison. Sharma ji ka beta, log kya kahenge? And I think getting out of this whole log kya kahenge is a very important thing for money. क्या फर्क पड़ता है लोग क्या कहेंगे?
Focus on your own game. SIP सही है, and it's been there. Amphi has done it.
Yeah.
PBs have supported it. What is the one mistake people are making with SIPs?
I'm going to give you two short ones. One is people stop SIPs in a crisis, which is a really bad idea.
Yeah, the worst time to be shutting off an SIP.
The other one, which is less spoken about, they don't top up SIPs with their rising income. So I have a simple tip. Whenever your increments happen at the end of every year, sit with your advisor and review your SIPs. And then money just piles in your bank account. So reset your SIPs at the end with your increments if your salary.
So we have to automatically increase our SIPs जैसे हमारी income बढ़े.
Correct.
Active versus passive funds. What's your take?
I think the media loves the verses. The reality is we wear both silk and chiffon sarees and we don't debate. We enjoy the joy of wearing a saree. I think both categories have the ability to provide a solution. And there are great active funds out there are great passive ones, and there are terrible active and passive ones. So rather than getting into the verses, it's important to focus on building your own thali, your own asset allocation, and then figuring out कि अगर मुझे चावल खाने हैं तो मुझे पैसिव चावल खाने हैं या पैसिव एक्टिव चावल खाने हैं. That's it.
Market crashes, COVID, Ukraine war, now Trump tariffs. How should investors behave when these things happen?
Switch off the news.
पैसा जाता है तो बहुत दुख होता है.
तो पर जाता नहीं है ना, मार्क टू मार्केट होता है पैसे का. सी, इफ यू वॉच द न्यूज एवरी डे, आपका एनएवी दिन में, आपका एनएवी प्रैक्टिकली एक बार कटता है. तो वी इशू एन एनएवी आंसर्ड है, लेकिन आपको लगेगा दिमाग में कि 10 बार कटा है. एंड दैट आई थिंक इज very, very painful. So it's very important to reduce, and I know you're a financial advisor, reduce the frequency at which you review your portfolio. It drives me crazy that people review their portfolios every day. Look at it once a quarter.
सबके पास ऐप है, they just want to see
बंद कर दो.
everything.
I don't look at mine. I don't know my portfolio or my net worth every day. I know it once a quarter at best.
I do it once in 6 months for
There you go.
myself.
And I don't make changes for once a year. Because what? I always tell people this. If you run a business और आप कलकत्ते से हो, बहुत बिजनेस है, आपके बिजनेस में मोहित 3 महीने कुछ थोड़ा डाउन टर्न आ गया, आप उसे बंद कर दोगे क्या? कभी नहीं बंद करोगे. 2 साल नहीं बंद करोगे, मैं बता रही हूँ. तो फिर पोर्टफोलियो क्या है? पोर्टफोलियो इज ऑल्सो अ कलेक्शन ऑफ बिजनेसेस ना.
Someone just started earning.
Yeah.
What's the blueprint? क्या game plan होना चाहिए investing के लिए?
4-step blueprint, which is here also. Set a post-tax savings target.
Post-tax savings target.
Start with 10% if you're in your 20s. The book has a framework here.
10% of money saved.
And automate that. So
Automate
I call it savings deducted at source. So SIP कर लो, recurring FD
TDS
कर
की
लो.
जगह savings deducted at
SDS.
source. Tax की जगह savings deducted at source.
So that's mantra 1. Mantra 2, control your debt.
Control
Right.
your debt.
Because that eats away.
And you mentioned about bad debt and good debt.
Good debt, bad debt, control your debt. 3, get insurance because that also eats away in a crisis.
Cover yourself.
And 4th, build a thali. Equity, debt, gold is enough to build a thali.
Fantastic.
Finish. 4-step savings mantra.
Any small money habit which has changed your life?
Any small money habit? I think doing annual budgeting. Me and my husband do it. It's actually, we look at all our expenses for the previous year, different buckets. We look at our income, we look at our cash flow, we reset our SIPs, and we religiously do this in June of every year because our payouts and increments are in May. Just a nice husband-wife exercise that everyone should do.
So, I am sure that 90%, in fact, all of our viewers are discussing their numbers with their spouse. But for those who aren't,
Yeah.
लगता है कि यार वो समझेगी नहीं या वो समझेगा नहीं.
सब समझती है यार. घर चलाती है, ऑफिस चलाती है, बच्चे मैनेज करती है, ससुराल मैनेज करती है, 2 म्यूचुअल फंड नहीं समझेगी. कम ऑन. और नहीं समझती है तो लेट हर आस्क क्वेश्चंस. यू मेक हर अंडरस्टैंड इट. सिट विद द एडवाइजर एंड मेक हर डू इट. सिट विद द एमएफडी, वो करवा लेगा.
So, in fact, for us, 60% of our clients in our relationship, the women manage the money.
Has probably done better.
Okay, finally, any 3 smart hacks which our young listeners should do to live smarter, invest better, and stay grounded?
Nice. Focus on their primary career because investment, whether you're trading, investing, etc., is not your biggest asset. Your time and talent is. When you are young in your 20s, your primary asset is your time. So maximize the return.
So,
on
no
your
future option.
No future options, no sitting and running family offices. Investment is passive income. Active pursuit should be your career because that's your biggest asset.
So, you're saying no family office, no
वो आप
FNO.
लोगों को करने दो ना. वो आप लोगों का प्राइमरी काम है ना.
एकदम.
So I think that is the number one. Second, stop living a life that's about social media. Start living a life. Stop living a life that's about front stage and live the life that is backstage. That is your life, so that you don't have all these comparisons. And third, simple dal chawal money habits. That's it.
Interesting. Thank you so much, Radhika. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This wraps up today's conversation with Radhika Gupta. From college to the CEO, from boardroom to the bestseller, from Shark Tank to everyday lessons. She's shown us that smart finance is not about complexity. It's about courage and clarity. Thank you, Radhika, for sharing
Thank
your
you.
journey with us.
Son?
Listeners, please remember, Mango Millionaires over here, it's a bestseller and it's here for a reason. Until next time, thrive and not just survive. Thank you for tuning in to Mohit's Mantra.